Guys, we're gonna go into a drill right now. Again, I think I mentioned this earlier. Nobody does this drill. Nobody practices this. We call this receiving end, and it's gonna suck. It's really, really, really bad. But essentially, if you guys look out at the range, you'll see that we've got 3 barricades set up. We're not doing barricade tactics. That's essentially a table for us to use. So what we're gonna do in a moment is we're gonna walk out to that table. We're gonna go underneath our target. We're gonna turn our flashlight on, put it on to max setting, and we are intentionally going to come back and get into the beam, all right? Now, right now, I literally cannot see that target, even though it's right in front of me. How many of you guys can see the target? Unless you're probably standing directly behind me, but if you're over on the flanks, you probably don't have a problem seeing it. Everybody understand that? Okay, so this could be simulating a few things. One, this could actually be simulating, for some reason, an adversary who potentially has a flashlight. I don't know if he's a shoot threat or not because I literally can't see anything. I'm being blinded by him. So that's a problem. I can't just come up on gun and start blasting away and hitting that guy. This could also simply just be a natural or an artificial piece of light that he's not controlling. So it could be a headlight on a car, a light in the front of a store. It could be anything along those lines. Check your ears if you guys need to. I have a couple ways that I can solve this problem. The first way that I can solve this problem is simply through movement, meaning that I go to gun, and if I can move out of the hot spot of that beam, right now I've taken and I've gotten out of that beam, and it's lessened the effects. As soon as I moved out of the hot spot, I suddenly could see more of the target. More of the target was suddenly presented to me. All right, that's a good thing. Maybe because of environment, situation, scenario, I don't have the ability to move out of the hot spot of the beam. So what's gonna happen here is a little bit unconventional, but it's gonna make sense as soon as you guys see it. I can't move left or right. I'm going to present that weapon, and my support hand is gonna come up and literally, it's going to block the light. Every one of you who's ever driven a car, when the sun is coming up or sun is coming down and it's coming through the windshield, a natural reflex is for that hand to come up. A couple points as far as technique goes. When I put that hand out, who thinks that's a problem if I extend that hand out too far?
Yep.
Okay, a few reasons. Number one, there's the obvious safety concern of getting our hand in front of the light. That's a big issue. The other reason is because the farther out you put your hand, the more accurate you have to be to block the light. My hand is kind of bigger when it's closer back to my face. I can actually be a little bit sloppier. Now, if you can look at my light, you guys can see it's naturally biased over to what? To the right. So being a southpaw, this is pretty easy for me to take and come up and block that light. What if I was a right-hander? What about that? I have a couple options here. What are they? I could punch the firearm out, and I could actually come across my hand, and I could block it. So, what's another option I have? Is simply transferring the gun. Transferring that way to affect my block. Everybody understand? So if you guys will step up here real quick, you can see I went from completely blinded, and now I'm actually getting a decent group of rounds on the target inside of the coffin. Some with one hand, some with 2 hands when I took and moved outside the cone. Everybody understand that? So we're countering forward light. Now, for the folks who have maybe a weapon-mounted light or you do have a handheld light, one of the principles for countering forward light is you actually counter it with more powerful forward light. If I can throw a more powerful beam back at him, it might have the ability to make this go away, right? Where I actually illuminate him. But it isn't going to change the effect of that on my eyeballs. That's not going to change. I only can change that by doing one of 2 things: moving or blocking. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Questions? Anything? Jano?
Nope. Nothing.
Actual?
Good.
Mikey? Nothing. Okay.